Interesting day in the market. I opened my accounts today and I had two stocks in particular that were very, very green, and then a couple stocks that had like a little bit of gain, a couple stocks that had a little bit of loss on the day. The two stocks that were super, super green, which was interesting, was Lockheed Martin and Palantir. And I was like, oh boy, something interesting is going on. And I thought in the moment, maybe this Russia-Ukraine situation got a little bit more intense. But actually I went to the news, I dig a little deeper, and I figured out a couple things that are moving these stocks higher. We'll talk about what those are in this video, and we'll specifically focus on Palantir and not worry too much about Lockheed Martin. But first, if you're new here, I'm Austin. I'm a co-owner at cloudbusinessweek.com. I'm a stock market investor, and most importantly for this video, I am a Palantir shareholder. I've been a Palantir shareholder for quite a while now. If you're returning to the channel, you already knew that. Also, if you're returning to the channel and you're already subscribed, thank you so much. If you're not, become one of those 2,000 something subscribers. Help us on our short-term goal of getting to that 3,000 subscriber number. I appreciate you in a major way. As a thank you for doing all that, here's a picture of my dog Penny and my two cats Millie and Luna. They all thank you for subscribing. Okay, let's get into this. So the main reason that both those stocks were up, and like I said, Palantir in particular, is because of the Israel conflict. I am not going to dive deep into this Israel conflict for a lot of reasons. One of those being, I don't know what the YouTube guidelines are around it. And the second being, I'm not a geopolitical expert, okay? So I'm just gonna leave that to the geopolitical experts. But the fact is that Palantir is rising in a massive way because of the conflict that's going on in Israel. So this brought up an interesting point to me. Given the fact that I own Lockheed Martin stock, and I saw a nearly 9% move today in Lockheed Martin, which is absolutely a war stock. They make fighter jets and helicopters, etc. and so forth, basically weapons. Palantir also moved up on that as well. So is Palantir considered a war stock now? Is that their new identity? If it is, I don't think that's a good thing. Lockheed Martin does not have a good reputation. Palantir already has a black cloud over them because of the data concerns. And now if there are data concerns and they're a war stock, that is not going to be good for Palantir's PR situation. Alex Karp, their CEO, definitely has cemented in people's brains that Palantir has been able to help the Ukraine in a massive way over the last little while with the Russia-Ukraine situation. So there's no confirmation that they're going to get involved in this Israel situation, but that's the idea is, oh, they profited off the Ukraine conflict, maybe they'll profit off the Israel conflict. I'm not going to talk about whether or not I think this is good or bad. I'm just saying that Palantir is moving up, and it's probably going to create a bigger PR nightmare for Palantir than they already have right now with the data privacy situation. To be clear, I don't think the data privacy situation that people are concerned about is valid whatsoever at all. That's the exact opposite of Palantir's business model. Palantir does not sell data. They're in the business of protecting data. And then while they're protecting data, they're helping you use that data to make better decisions as an organization. But the war stock story will be harder to avoid, especially if they're going to talk about how they helped the Ukraine in a massive way. If potentially they get involved in this Israel situation, then it's really going to be hard to get away from that war stock story that could hang over the head of Palantir. So that was definitely the main thing that was moving Palantir up today. I think a secondary thing was just some leftover hype from that NHS contract that's probably going to go through, that $580 million that they're probably going to procure to basically revamp the NHS. This deal has not been inked yet. There's been a lot of videos here on YouTube. There's been articles that came out that said, hey, they're inching closer to it, and that moved the stock up in a major way last week. To be clear, the NHS deal is not in the bag yet. Pen is not to paper, so I'm not going to talk about it. I'm not going to make a video about it. I, of course, hope that that goes through, and of course, there's a lot of excitement around that NHS deal because of the $580 million and the PR boosts that Palantir would get on the UK side. In general, people and organizations in the UK seem to like Palantir a lot less than people and organizations in the United States. And I'm sure a lot of that is how Alex Karp talks about every other country other than the United States. He does love the US and thinks that we're the best country by a long shot. And even if he doesn't think that, he says it on conference calls over and over and over and over again. So anyway, those two main pieces of news were what was moving Palantir up in a massive way today. Hope this video was helpful to you. I'm not going to ramble on and on about it. We'll see what happens tomorrow and the next day and as the week plays out, but it's still a good day to be a Palantir shareholder. Much love to any fellow shareholders out there. Much love to anyone who's not a shareholder out there. Hope you enjoyed the video. Thanks for stopping by. Have an amazing day.